Coming up next on the Filthy Rich Cleaners podcast.
If your partner is faithful 364 days of the year, but on that 365th day they cheat, they're not faithful anymore.
From your first dollar to your first million, welcome to the Filthy Rich Cleaners podcast, presented by ZenMaid. Join your host, Stephanie Pipkin, founder of Serene Clean, as she shares proven tips, tricks, and hard-earned lessons. Whether you're just starting out or ready to scale, get ready to discover how to build your own cleaning empire. Let's roll up our sleeves and dive in.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Filthy Rich Cleaners podcast. I am your host, Stephanie from Serene Clean, and in today's episode, we're talking about branding, and we're talking about naked cleaning, guys. If I have your attention, keep listening. No, it's not something that I would be considering. Spoiler alert, if that's what you were wondering. But it is something that is top of mind in relation to our brands and our reputations and the actions that we take in our cleaning companies. And the reason I'm even recording this was not planned. But yesterday I watched just an amazing video from Layla Hermosi. You guys know I am so inspired by her. And the video was all about rebranding yourself and reinventing yourself. And I'm going to extrapolate a lot of those lessons to something else I saw yesterday, which was in one of the cleaning groups on Facebook, which it was not the mastermind, the ZenMaid mastermind, which is the best one. It was not in this one. It was in another one. And a lot of people jumped on it. And I thought it was really interesting reading all of the comments. And it was someone broaching the topic of topless cleaning, naughty cleaning, sexy cleaning, whatever you want to call it. This exists. This exists in our industry, and it's not something probably ever talked about on podcasts, but it's really important from the topic of branding. And I want to bring an example that Layla took from her video and relate these two things, and why consistency 100% of the time is so vital when it comes to our reputation. And that one mistake or one poor choice can irrevocably change how people perceive you. And we may think, oh, it doesn't matter what people think. Are you freaking kidding me? Like, for running a business, that's actually 100% what matters, is what people think in a lot of ways, about the right things, of course, but for real, we cannot exist if public view of our business or of us is negative. It's not going to happen, or it's not going to be really successful. And it's really hard to right that ship when it's wrong. So the example that Layla gave when it came to this topic was, if your partner is faithful 364 days of the year, but on that 365th day, they cheat, and they do this once a year. All of a sudden, are they not faithful anymore? Yes. They're not faithful anymore. And even though they were perfect 99.9% of the time, it's all gone. All of that's gone because of that one thing. And that reminds me so much of this, naughty cleaning, sexy cleaning, and that I am all for go get that bag, girl. Go get that bag, boy. Like, get your bag. But you need to be ready and willing to take on the consequences to your brand from getting that bag, from choosing that one. And it's definitely something like I've joked about internally in my company of like, oh, if we're in the wrong business, we could make so much more money. But would I ever consider that? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Not just from a safety perspective, but from a brand perspective, and what that would do to destroy your reputation. Because even if you just did that once, or you just did it for a few clients or whatever, and 99% of your cleaning services were like normal, fully clothed, professional cleaning services, that doesn't matter. Because you've now tinged the water, you've poisoned the water, if you will, with something that all of your clients are most likely going to see in a negative connotation, because they will feel they can't trust you in their home or what have you. And really, I'm not here to judge morality or anything like that. That's not what this is at all. Honestly, consenting adults doing what they want, I'm all for that. All for it. However, when it comes to business and brand, you can't be pissy then if people see it how they see it. And this whole concept, this is an extreme example, right? So if you're going to do that, just know that most likely most homeowners and the decision makers in the home, when it comes to cleaning services, the woman is not going to be okay with you doing this, or knowing that you do this and inviting you into their home, around their husband, around their sons, whatever. And that's a whole nother like moral story that I'm not going to get into. Again, like this isn't about morality. This is about brand. And your brand would probably not survive the hit that would take unless you want to just go full balls to the walls. This is what we're doing. We are a naughty cleaning service. We are a sexy cleaning service. Okay, then go do that, right? And again, that's your brand. But I just am wanting you guys to reflect, okay, this is an extreme example, but what else? What other behaviors in our business are actually screaming against the brand that we proclaim that we want, the reputation that we want? And specifically, I want you guys to reflect, I think, on the biggest problem when it comes to our brands as cleaning business owners is inconsistency. Is we can sometimes knock it out of the park and sometimes we can't. And I'm not just talking about the actual cleaning quality itself. I'm talking about everything. Every interaction with your clients, with your cleaning staff, with your community. Are they consistent or are they all across the board? And I really want you to take a minute and think about examples where you have not been consistent, because what Layla says in her video is just so true, is that we don't get to say what we want our brand to be. It's in our actions. Our actions create our brand. Our actions create our reputation. And poor actions that go against what we say that we value and say that we want that's all that matters. It doesn't matter what you say. And I bring this word up a lot, quality cleaning. There's a reason I honestly try not to use it in my marketing, because it means nothing. Every person who cleans say that they do a quality cleaning. And that's not true, obviously. We've all seen our competitors work, if you know what I mean. So if everybody says it, then that word means nothing anymore. It's only the actions that can speak. It's only in consistency can we establish the true definition of that word, quality. And so I always think, how can we showcase what the word quality means without even having to speak it? I want our actions to speak for themselves. I want when people interact with Serene Clean, it is slapped across their face that this is a professional, established, caring, competent, whatever other C word company. And they are going to be blown away by the results. And actually it made me feel really good. If you click on your Google My Business and you click on reviews, there's now an AI overview of your reviews. So anybody can click and get the synopsis of your reviews. And that was like, ooh, was that an ego stroke reading that yesterday? But the word that showed up in that description, all of these things, friendly, detail oriented, all of these like professional company, but the word spectacular showed up in that AI overview. And it's like, oh, that made me feel so good of like, people think that we are spectacular. And is that not brand right there? That's not me, the owner, saying something. It is the reputation of Serene Clean is spectacular. And I'm really, really proud of that, because that's exactly what I want. It's what I've worked so hard for. And additionally, from an internal perspective, what is your reputation as an owner to your team, to anybody who interacts with you internally? What is that reputation? Is it spectacular? Is it she's really moody? Don't catch her on a bad day? Is it she plays favorites with them and she lets them get away with things? Is it, the standards are kind of just depends on how she's feeling or which client it is. They get preferential treatment. Like all of these things are referencing inconsistency. And that's why I'm kind of hammering in on consistency here, guys, is because I think it is truly the most vital aspect of success in our business, is that we can show up and be consistently good. Should I correct myself there? And I feel that overall, that is what people are frustrated with poor cleaning services, is oftentimes they can nail it the first time or every fourth time it's good. That doesn't matter. If every other time there is something that the client finds that they have to share, they're going to drop they're going to find somebody else who, even if they're not as good some of the time, but they're like decent all of the time, that's still better. Because if you can only nail darn near perfect 25% of the time, or you can only show up every other time and you have to reschedule on them for whatever reason, or you send out reminder texts some of the time because you're not using ZenMaid and not having the automated reminder texts and emails go out, just saying, that all leads to an inconsistent vibe and an inconsistent brand. And if you do not want your customers or potential customers speaking to each other and saying, yeah, it's kind of hit or miss, because then all of a sudden the value drops. The perceived value of your service is dropping. And there is something to be said, and there is a very tangible value to being consistent for the client. All right. Because think about it. It is a huge, colossal undertaking to find a cleaner, set everything up in their system, have them show up, do the cleaning, get on a reoccurring service, and then every other time there's a problem and they have to communicate that, or every other time they're having to reschedule. And this is all to say in a very loving manner, because guys, I've been there. I have struggled before because of staffing and not being able to, consistently have great cleaners or great service or what have you. But it is our job to figure out how to provide that. And that's why I'm so glad all of you are listening to this and then learning from so many wonderful owners and us having these discussions, because I want us all to raise the bar of the industry. I want our industry's reputation to start leveling up. And I think that is exactly what we're doing. Everybody in our little community right here, we are very much leveling up the reputation of the cleaning industry. And that is a professional, skilled service that deserves respect, and that we are helping people, and that we should be proud of what we do, right? Like, that is something that's very important to me, but that doesn't happen overnight. And that's the whole point of this conversation, is that rebranding and shifting does not happen overnight, and it does not happen at the snap of a finger, right? It doesn't happen. It is consistent action over time. And as Layla says in her video, being okay with being misunderstood as that process happens, right? Because, taking it back to the naughty cleaning, right? Okay, you did that yesterday and all of your clients find out and you're like, you know what? I'm never doing this again. I've decided it is not worth, the juice is not worth the squeeze of my reputation being hit this way. Well, next week, guess what? They still think of you in that way. They still think of you as the person who is going to do that. In a month, they're going to think that. In 2 months, they're going to think that. But in a couple of years, you haven't done that. You've built your reputation now painstakingly as a reputable, quality, fully clothed cleaner. Well, all of a sudden, that has gone away. It's not completely gone. It will always be there. But your actions and the evidence speaks loudly enough for you that you don't need to say, like, no, I don't do that anymore. Like, it's going to be so drowned out by all of the other things that you are doing. And so the lesson here today is what are our values, and what is the brand that we envision for ourselves? What are the actions that we take on a daily basis, both as an individual in our personal lives, as a leader in our company, and as a business owner to our clients and potential clients? What is that saying? What are our actions saying? How can we make it just a little bit better today? How can we be more consistently in line with the brand that we envision? And you may think that some of these things that we talk about on this podcast, are little, and you're right, they are little. When I'm talking about professionalism, when I'm talking about, having cleaning checklists and having a training program and having an orientation and following up on leads and first-time cleans and checking in regularly and having a quality control system, all of these things, right? All of these things that we do, they all add up to build this strong horse of consistency that my clients, know what to expect every time they come to us. And if we mess it up, we make it so right that they're impressed by our efforts to make it right, so that it actually turns it into a positive experience. Like just going overboard when it comes to when we mess it up, how can we fix it so good that that's what they remember? And that right there is another, avenue of consistency and brand that, one of our core values is integrity. So how can we act with integrity in every single interaction and thing that we do in our business, right? That's important to me. Family first is one of our core values. All right. It is now my reputation, and you'll see this in all of my employee interviews that are about to get posted over the next several weeks. I interviewed several of my employees who have been with me for up to 6 years. All right. My reputation now is that you are going to have a flexible place to work that really cares and stands by their core values of, this job is supposed to work around your life. Your life isn't supposed to work around your job. And that's important to me. And I said that 6 years ago when I chose that core value. And now with years and years of action, I don't need to say it so much because my employees say it. Because they're like, the proof is in the pudding. Stephanie practices what she preaches. And that's what I want for all of you. And I know if you're newer right now, this may be really frustrating to hear. But the beautiful thing is, say you've only been in business for a year. That means that every single action is a larger piece of the pie. So like everything that you do now, it really matters to align with your core values. And I'm not saying you need to be perfect, but take this to heart that this is exciting. You have a chance to establish a really strong brand identity right now by your actions, which you have 100% control over, right? That's exciting. That should feel empowering, not overwhelming. You have 100% control of your actions so that in 5 years, when you look back, you can say, right there, that's when I started behaving in accordance to the brand and the values that I envision for myself and that I choose for myself every single day. And so when you're in my spot, where I am right now, I can look back and say, I established those core values years ago. I messed up some, but overall, I have been consistent to those core values. I've been consistently filled with integrity when it comes to the business and how we behave. I've consistently honored the family first value when it comes to my staff and my clients and my community truly at large, because I see that as a big family, right? Family first and community involvement is super duper important to me. Shows in my actions. And then finally, grateful and positive attitude, right? Like even when shit is hitting the fan, all right, does Stephanie stay low about it or does she get sprung into action, right? Like that has been showing up for years now. And now I can sit back and say, the brand is there and it feels so effortless. It's so funny because it really does feel like that of the reputation speaks for itself. And I almost forget that that's because of all the actions that we took and getting people who align with those core values. And I know that we talk about core values so much and you probably get so tired of them, but it really is. They're your North Star of okay, does this person align with these? Because these are the people you're going to be hanging out with every day. And these are the people that are going to be representing your brand. All right. I have had some excellent cleaners, killer cleaners. But dear Lord, you would think a thundercloud and lightning was hailing down on them every day. Because when they walked into a room, it was like the light was sucked out of it. And it sucks because I am not saying we can't have bad days. I will never say that. I have gone through the worst times in my life, in my business, and I've shared those struggles with my staff and my team. And they have gone through some horrific life events, 100%. But is every day shitty? Or are you just going through a shitty time? That's really what it is about for me. And so it's important that the rest of my team and all of my clients are not getting bogged down by a really negative person. And again, doesn't make them a bad person. It just doesn't align with what my core values and my reputation is that Serene Cleaners and staff are super friendly. We're cheerful. We're go-getters and we can't wait to help you, right? That is who we are. And so that's our brand. And I want that to be consistent. And the thing is about branding, sometimes you're going to have to make really hard decisions because we're a team of people, right? Our cleaning companies are filled with people. And if somebody is off brand for you, God, that sounds so cold. But if they are not on brand, they gotta go, or there needs to be some attitude adjustment. And even to the point of like, we released a very specific dress code. We always had a dress code, but last year we really established and literally laid out like, these colors are not allowed. This is not allowed. These types of shoes are not allowed. And obviously, there's the whole safety thing and whatnot, but my staff was being inconsistent with our brand. And even talking to my managers, I'm like, I guess we can't dress just like as casual as we want if we're going to be asking our cleaners to be wearing these things. Like, let's spiff it up a little bit, right? And even for me I'm about to, later today, I'll record my anniversary looms for clients later today. I'm working on a half sleeve right now, guys. Like, one session down, 15 more hours to go, right? I'm putting on something. This isn't consistent with Serene Clean's brand. I mean, people know I'm tattooed, but it would be more consistent if I just put a button up on and recorded those, right? Because I know that seems crazy, but it is like very important to me that my clients get consistency from a branding perspective. And do I have a problem with tattoos? No. Do a lot of people have a problem with tattoos? Absolutely not. But if I can make one decision to make me slightly more aligned with my brand without, ripping my skin off, well, I'm going to do that, right? Because my personal brand, I love tattoos. I'm very playful. I like colorful things, and all of that can be professional, 100%. But Serene Clean's brand is very soothing and spa-like and serene and kind of very professional, a little buttoned up, friendly, but very professional. And so even that little micro decision of I'm going to put a shirt on over my tattoos before I do customer facing things. Okay. Consistency, right? And that is the name of the game. So we will link that video of Layla's below. If you guys want to ask questions about naked cleaning, you totally can. Get your bag, but just know that you are about to hurt your brand and reputation if you ever want to grow the thing. So keep that in mind. And let's be consistent, guys. Let us create strong brands that withstand the test of time that we can look back and be incredibly proud of. That is what I want for you, for your cleaning businesses. So hopefully that this was interesting, guys. I'll see you on the next episode. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, drop a comment below. And see you next time on Filthy Rich Cleaners Podcast. Bye-bye.